Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. For weeks, Ron Funches stayed quiet. While fans debated online, dissecting every moment of the Traitors, the beloved comedian and actor chose silence. Until now. In a candid and emotionally charged moment, Funches finally broke that silence, pulling back the curtain on what he describes as a deeply unsettling experience behind the scenes of the hit reality competition. Known for his infectious laugh, warm humor, and ability to disarm even the coldest room, Ron Funches is rarely associated with controversy. That's exactly why his words hit so hard when he revealed that his treatment on the Traitors wasn't just unfair, it felt personal. "I kept asking myself what I did wrong," Funches admitted, "and eventually I had to ask a harder question. Was this about who I am?" From the outside, the Traitors appears glamorous and strategic, candlelit halls, whispered alliances, and dramatic banishments. But Funches says that beneath the polished surface, the atmosphere felt uneven from the start. While other cast members were given room to strategize, speak, and shape the narrative, he felt quietly sidelined, his perspective dismissed, his presence minimized. At first, he brushed it off. "Reality TV is messy," he told himself. "Not everyone gets equal screen time." But patterns began to emerge. Funches noticed how his comments were frequently ignored in group discussions, how suspicion seemed to fall on him more quickly than others, and how his attempts to explain himself were often cut short, both in the game and, he believes, in the final edit. It wasn't one moment, it was a series of small things that added up to something big. As a black man in a genre historically criticized for unconscious bias, Funches says he's no stranger to subtle discrimination. Still, experiencing it in a space meant to be entertainment first was particularly painful. What stung the most wasn't the game itself, but how isolated he felt within it. "I felt invisible at times," he shared, "and other times I felt hypervisible for all the wrong reasons." Fans quickly picked up on the shift once his comments went public. Social media erupted with clips, screenshots, and comparisons, with viewers questioning whether unconscious bias played a role in shaping audience perception. Many pointed out how Funches' humor, a trait usually celebrated, was framed as suspicious or non-serious within the game, while similar behavior from others was seen as charming or strategic. That's when it hit me. The rules felt different for me. Despite the emotional weight of his claims, Funches was careful not to place blame on a single person. Instead, he spoke about systemic issues, how reality TV environments can amplify bias when pressure, editing, and competition collide. "I don't think everyone woke up planning to be unfair," he explained, "but intent doesn't erase impact." The aftermath has been complicated. Some fans praised Funches for his courage, thanking him for speaking up and validating concerns long whispered within reality TV fandoms. Others pushed back, arguing that The Traitors is a game built on paranoia, not prejudice. Funches anticipated the backlash. "When you speak about racism, people want proof that fits neatly in a box, but lived experiences don't always come with receipts." What makes his story especially powerful is his refusal to let bitterness define the narrative. Instead of anger, he speaks with clarity, reflection, and hope. He believes conversations like this can lead to better casting practices, more mindful editing, and safer spaces for future contestants. "I don't regret doing the show," he said, "but I do regret not trusting my instincts sooner." In the days following his statement, industry insiders began weighing in, reigniting broader discussions about representation, fairness, and accountability in reality television. For many, Funches' experience is a reminder that even in games built on deception, humanity should never be collateral damage. As for Ron Funches, he's moving forward, head high, voice steady. "I spoke because silence felt heavier than the truth, and if my story helps someone else feel less alone, then it was worth it." In a world where laughter has long been his calling card, Ron Funches is now being heard in a different way, not as a punchline, but as a powerful voice demanding fairness, dignity,
The ripple
and
effect
change.
of Ron Funches' revelation didn't fade overnight. Instead, it grew louder, deeper, and more uncomfortable for an industry that often prefers silence over self-reflection. As interviews circulated and fans re-watched episodes with fresh eyes, moments once dismissed as just aimplay began to look different, heavier, sharper, and harder to ignore. Funches revealed that the emotional toll lingered long after filming wrapped. What viewers saw on screen was only a fraction of the experience. Off-camera, he struggled with self-doubt, replaying conversations in his head and wondering why he constantly felt the need to prove his intelligence, loyalty, and worth. "There's a mental exhaustion that comes with always being questioned," he said, "not for what you do, but for who you are." He described nights spent alone, sitting with the silence after filming days packed with tension. While others bonded and laughed, he often felt like an outsider observing from the edges. The irony wasn't lost on him, a comedian known for connecting people through humor, now feeling disconnected in a room full of players. What hurt most, Funches admitted, was how quickly assumptions were made about his intentions. His kindness was mistaken for weakness, his humor was misread as deflection, and his calm demeanor, rather than being trusted, was treated as something suspicious. "In this game, paranoia is expected," he said, "but when it follows you no matter what you do, you start asking why." The conversation soon expanded beyond the Traitors. Fellow performers, reality stars, and comedians began quietly sharing similar stories, experiences where bias wasn't loud or obvious, but persistent enough to shape outcomes. Many echoed the same sentiment. Racism in reality TV rarely looks like open hostility. More often, it shows up as exclusion, misinterpretation, and unequal grace. Fans flooded Funches' social media with messages of support. Some admitted they hadn't noticed the imbalance at first, but now couldn't unsee it. Others thanked him for articulating feelings they'd struggled to name while watching the show. "That's the power of speaking up," he said. "You give language to something people felt but couldn't explain." Still, the backlash came swiftly. Critics accused him of playing the race card, a phrase Funches finds both predictable and painful. "It's wild how talking about racism makes people more uncomfortable than racism itself," he remarked. Rather than retreat, Funches leaned into transparency. He clarified that his goal was never to tear down the show or its castmates, but to push for awareness and growth. He emphasized that accountability doesn't mean blame, it means listening. "Growth starts when people stop being defensive and start being honest," he said. Industry experts weighed in, noting how editing choices can subtly reinforce bias. Who gets confessionals? Whose strategies are explained? Who is portrayed as trustworthy versus deceptive? These decisions shape audience perception and ultimately public narratives. For Funches, seeing himself reduced to a simplified version on screen was a harsh realization. "I'm complex," he said. "I'm strategic, thoughtful, emotional, funny, and all of that didn't make the cut." Despite the pain, Funches remains hopeful. He believes that moments like this can be turning points if networks are willing to listen. He's calling for more diverse producers, inclusive storytelling, and mental health support for contestants navigating high-pressure environments. Representation isn't just about who's in the room, it's about who gets heard. As the dust settles, Ron Funches is reclaiming his narrative, not as a victim, but as a truth-teller. He continues to tour, create, and connect with audiences, carrying this experience not as a burden, but as fuel. "I refuse to let this make me smaller," he said. "If anything, it's made me clearer." In breaking his silence, Ron Funches didn't just speak for himself. He opened a door for conversations long overdue about fairness, empathy, and the responsibility that comes with storytelling. In a genre built on deception and drama, his honesty stands out as the most powerful move of all. And perhaps that's the real twist no one saw coming.